Hey everyone, and welcome back to Bridging the Gap. Make sure to leave a like on this video down below and subscribe. My name is Alvin. I lean right on most issues, and I'll be representing the Republican side.
My name is Luke. I lean left on most issues, and I'll be representing the Democratic side. Okay, the midterms has been very, very interesting so far. We this isn't our video on going over our predictions. We will be doing that later in the month as more of the results come in. But we're gonna be updating you guys on the current state of the balance of power in the House elections, the governor elections, and the outstanding Senate elections. Yeah.
Yeah, so this was an absolute wild midterm elections. The Democrats did a lot better than expected, so they can pretty much walk away knowing that they got like their best case scenario. And we're going to be looking at the balance of power in everything. So here we go. Betting odds showing Dems have a sizable chance to keep a trifecta, a federal trifecta, with the most likely scenario being a Republican House and Democrat Senate. Now, we're going to be running through the House first, and then the governor's race, and then the Senate. So yeah, let's look at the House right now, where currently it stands 205 Democrats, 212 Republicans. Every state here characterized as safe means it was called by a major news network. If it's likely, that means we are calling it. Like, we think there's basically a 99 plus chance that the side that we called it for wins. And if it's a lean margin, that means we're like 90% sure, but it's not like guaranteed. So here we go. We called everything in Nevada and something. So yeah,
Yeah.
what do you want to say about this?
Well, I mean, first I'm going to say we based this off the Cook political report. We based it off CNN and we based it off New York Times calls. All obviously are organizations which would want to get this right or they'd look bad. So yeah, I mean, they all have incentive to get these correctly. So yeah, we're basing it off their calls. For Maine and Alaska, I believe those are only two likely states. The Democrats both have sizable leads before ranked choice voting tabulations because both states use ranked choice voting. So we're pretty safe putting those to the sides they go to, which is Democratic side. And as for Nevada, the vote count has been shifting to the left with mail-ins, especially in Clark County. So we think it'll only get bluer for in Nevada. So we're comfortable putting that in lean blue. And I believe for New York, we saw the New York Times needle had that their predictions had that going pretty hard to the right. They were pretty certain this would go to the right. But I mean, they still haven't called it, so we're leaving that New York 22 lean Republican now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Those are just specific races. Do you want to talk about like maybe the Colorado ones because those are
Yeah, so
interesting
there's a
too?
few toss-ups that there's 18 toss-ups right now that we're leaving. Republicans need six more to snatch a majority. Democrats are going to need like what 13 more, and so it's more looking more likely than not that Republicans will take it. They have a few races that they're in the lead and they're probably going to win, but there's a few that are really, really contentious, like Colorado's third, which Lauren Boebert might actually lose her seat, and everyone's been talking about it, but now it feels like a true toss-up there. We have a few other races like in Washington, mainly on the West Coast and Arizona, that are still uncalled. There's one race in Maryland that we're not really sure about, the sixth. That looks like it's probably going to the Democrat, but we can't be sure for now. But every state to the east of Colorado has done a really good job of counting their votes. Every state to the west of this, like Idaho, Utah line is absolutely abysmal. So we're going to have to wait on them for a while. It could be up to a week past election day till we really find out who controls the House. But either way, this is going to be super close. Not probably Republicans are going to take the House, but do they have a wide enough majority to completely stop Joe Biden's agenda? Probably not. Can Speaker McCarthy actually hold on to? Can Speaker McCarthy be a thing? We don't know.
Yeah,
Like there's a lot of
there's a
things that
lot of
might
those.
happen.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a
those radical Republicans. Yeah.
few interesting betting markets. We have who will beat Speaker. McCarthy's down, Scalise's up, Pelosi and Jeffries are up too. And it's interesting because there's going to be there's going to be three wings of the Republican Party in given that they have the majority. There's going to be the inline Republicans that just get whipped and they're going to do whatever what their leadership tells them to do. It's probably the majority of Republicans. Then we have probably maybe 10 Republicans or so that are really hard to the right that are going to try to maybe be like the progressives last year, where they can have some leverage as a team over the Republican agenda, over Republican leadership, but they're probably still going to vote against all of Biden's agenda. And then we have the moderate Republicans. Looks like there might be 3 to 5 of them, down from maybe 10 from last year. Depends. We're gonna see how it ends up, but their moderate Republicans could definitely vote with Biden, vote with Democrats. But if McCarthy or whoever the Republican holds the speakership, the speaker gets to choose what gets to land on the floor. So it's not as if, the moderates can just push something through or whatever. It's going to be super weird. We're going to see, but this could be extremely interesting. You have anything else to say on the House?
Yeah, the balance of the House. I mean, it looks like it's probably going to the Republicans, but I mean, Democrats definitely still have a shot. We're waiting on lots of votes coming in like California, Arizona, Oregon, Washington. I mean, those are going to decide it. Democrats would have to win a majority of these outstanding seats to take the chamber. It's possible, but I will say it is pretty unlikely. But I mean, it's a possibility. Okay.
Keep your eye out on the size of the majority, given that the Republicans take it, because that could be big. We could see some like 1 vote differences in votes. So that's something big. All right, let's head to the governorships, where this is the current state of the play in governorships. We had a massive night for Republicans in the South and Southeast, with Ron DeSantis winning by almost 20. Beta losing by over 10 points in Texas.
I think it was 11.
Yeah. Georgia, Kemp won handily there. But in the Midwest, in the Rust Belt, Democrats did amazingly well. They won in Pennsylvania by a crap ton. We have Michigan winning by a lot. Wisconsin even held on. And obviously Minnesota. Kansas, Laura Kelly held. New York was a smaller margin. Zeldin did very well there, and he carried the House delegation. Zeldin might be the reason that Republicans take the House, by the way. So that is
true. I will note. Can I? I will note that I think Zeldin definitely carried that House ballot. Like, Republicans did really well in the House in New York. They flipped a bunch of seats, and they're leading in a bunch of swing races. I think that can be attributed to Zeldin. And similarly, and like also
Ohio.
Similarly in Ohio, I mean, Tim Ryan did better than expected. I think he's going to lose by like 6 or 7. He's going to lose by 6 or 7. That would be crazy if he won, but it's already been called. He's going to lose by 6 or 7, but it looks like Dems are going to flip. We're going to get 1 or 2 seats we didn't expect them to get in Ohio. Partly because of that. But I will note something else I've seen in this election is Democrats have done super well in the Rust Belt. Like, it's been like, I would argue blue wave in the Rust Belt here. Like, just if you specifically look at the Rust Belt, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Ohio. Like, in Ohio, we're gaining House seats. In Pennsylvania, we have the governorship, and the state House is looking really close. In Michigan, Whitmer dominated. It looks like Democrats are heading for a trifecta there. In Minnesota, I mean, Tim Walz did really well. We might even get a trifecta there. And then finally in Wisconsin, the Republicans are not getting their supermajority in the state legislature, and Evers won, so he can continue to veto everything they do. So I think Dems did way better expected in that Rust Belt area. Let's talk about the races.
Let's just go over the races that have yet to be called. We have Alaska, where
this is
Dunleavy. There we go. Dunleavy is winning by over 50%. We have some areas to go. It's weird there, but there's another candidate, Charlie Pierce, who's a Republican, who's going to give his support to Dunleavy. Dunleavy might get it done in 1 round, which is absolutely insane. And if not, maybe 2. So there we go. Dunleavy, we have it likely because we're 99% sure he's winning this. Oregon, we have as a lean Democrat because we think Tina Kotek's going to win. There's a lot of vote yet to come in from the Portland County, Multnomah County, I don't know. And the rural areas are almost fully in. So Drazen's probably not winning this, but, there's technically a small chance. And then we have the state of Arizona, where Katie Hobbs and Carrie Lake are fighting to the death. It's going to come down to some votes from Maricopa County, where they were technically mail-in votes, but they were dropped off the day of the election. So they could split 50-50. They could go either way. Carrie.
Yeah. I will note, yeah, you're right. These votes outstanding in Arizona can break either way. We don't know which way they're going to break. If they're going to break for the Democrats, they're going to break for the Republicans. That very much depends, and that will essentially decide this election here. Because if they break even slightly for Lake, she wins.
Let's go to Nevada, where Joe Lombardo is outperforming Adam Laxalt by quite a bit. It looks like he's going to win this race. Yeah, Sisolak's going to have to get some pretty insane margins in Clark County to win, but
yeah,
there we go.
They still have mails to count there, but we'll see.
I mean, Dems might actually get 25 governorships, like potentially, which would be huge to level out the playing field there. We want to know, I guess, also one more thing. Like, if we just go to the House races, like, I know it's not House races right now, but if you look at the 2020 comparison, this is a good comparison map across the country. It's really split. Like, it looks like a lot of red, but actually it's actually pretty blue in some of these like other districts that aren't fully called. So it's pretty interesting to look at. All right, let's head to the Senate, where this is probably what's being looked at the most as you wake up this morning. When you woke up yesterday morning, you might have thought that Republicans still had a chance to keep the Senate, but now if you wake up this morning, it looks like not so much, right?
Yeah. Here, I mean, lots of races have been called. Democrats have flipped Pennsylvania, so that's a pickup for them. Wisconsin was way closer than expected, but that is going to Ron Johnson there. Yeah, so there's like 4 races left uncalled here. Well, I guess 3 or 4, depending on how you classify Georgia. But like Arizona is uncalled, Nevada's uncalled, Alaska's uncalled, and Georgia is heading for to a runoff. So there's that. I mean, should I go over like Arizona, Nevada, or would you like to do that? I mean,
you go over whatever you want.
Okay, I mean, I guess I'll start with Arizona here. So in Arizona, obviously, as I mentioned before, ballots are coming. We don't know which way these next Maricopa ballots are going to break. But right now, we will say Mark Kelly is a very, very strong lead. He's leading by 5. That's pretty big. I mean, like I like that is that lead. To be honest, I think that is going to be very hard for Blake Masters to overcome.
Yeah.
That's why we have it lean Dem on our map. Like there's a chance that these ballots break very hard for Republicans.
Yeah.
But can they bring it that far back? I'm not sure. Predict it doesn't really say so.
All right. But I guess I'll go over Nevada then. How about that?
Yeah.
In Nevada, we also have this lean Democrat. Now, yesterday, there seemed to be some good news coming in for Republicans. There's a lot less mail-in ballots reported out of Clark County than expected, like half the amount expected. So people thought Laxalt was actually going to hold his lead, but then the actual results got poured in from those from some mail-in ballots, and Cortez Masto did like a lot better than expected. She got like 2/3 of the ballot. She's winning by over 2-1, which is exactly more, like, is not even what she needs. It's more than what she needs by quite a bit. So it looks like Masto's very favored in this race. Predicted agrees. She just surged a lot from yesterday. 24-hour thing is really interesting because yesterday, we thought, Laxalt still had a chance, but after 13 hours ago, the votes got reported. You can see what happened there. Laxalt's doing a lot worse than Lombardo, which is interesting. I mean, Laxalt was supposed to be a pretty strong candidate, but apparently he's slipping. Dems look like they're going to have a 50-seat majority at a minimum right now, which is huge because that's going to be exactly, they know how to work with that from last year. And with their energy, I mean, Dems are definitely more energized right now. So it looks like they're going to be favored in a runoff in Georgia as well, which has been projected.
That's exactly what we said in our prediction also, that like Georgia depends on how Democrats do in the rest of the country. So like
no Brian Kemp
if we take Arizona
too. No Brian Kemp on the ballot's going to help Warnock. And there we go, right? Like Georgia's going to the Democrats, probably, which, I mean, I'm glad they don't have a 52-seat majority because that would mean the filibuster is gone, and that's scary. But 51 seats, we have to rely on Kyrsten Sinema to not kill our country. So.
I mean, there's a shot the Republicans take the House here, and none of that even matters. I mean, the main thing Democrats can do with the Senate here is, I mean, pass judge and continue to pass judges. I mean,
Yeah.
they're elected to favor the Senate. We're not 100% certain, but like I with everything as it is now, it looks like Republicans are going to keep the House, are favored to keep the House. Democrats are favored to keep the Senate, and governor's races. I mean, obviously, we showed you like the specifics there.
Yeah, true, but
yeah.
also you have to note that I'm not sure how this exactly works, but maybe if the Democrats pass something in the House like now before they lose the House, could they still act on it in the Senate
And then,
afterwards?
but
Question
like,
mark.
isn't that a different session? I mean, I'm
I'm
not
not
100%
exactly
sure.
sure, but yeah, like that could be a thing. Like 51D is probably not gonna be so much different from 50D, like unless like maybe Kirsten Sinema's easier to bribe, not exactly sure. Like maybe you
Oh,
can bribe her, but
but I mean, something else I thought of also is like Republicans are going to have leverage if they take the House because they'll have control over like budgeting bills and stuff.
true. I mean, yeah,
So I mean, you
again,
never know.
you got to
There's a
look
lot
at
of
it like
factors.
Kirsten Sinema is gonna have so much leverage in the Senate. With this, it's gonna be absolutely insane, actually. And then in the House, whoever, I mean, okay, let's say the Republicans take the House by like 5 seats. Those 5 Republicans, the most moderate Republicans, are gonna have lots of leverage. The far right Republicans are gonna have lots of leverage.
Yeah.
If the Republicans win the House by like 2 to 3 seats, any 2 to 3 seats of Republicans would have leverage. They could just like find a
Bruh,
buddy and they would
that
have leverage.
I mean, yeah, that's like Bear, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, all in a bunch
And
right
Paul
there. I
Gosar,
mean,
yeah.
yeah,
Although
all
Bear
those.
might lose, so
I mean, but
yeah, that's
also, I mean, it could
interesting.
be on moderate Republicans. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. There's a
Yeah,
lot. There's a lot of factors here.
yeah, and then
And
if like Democrats somehow keep the House by 1 seat, then Henry Queller, Jared
I mean,
Goldman's gonna
I will
be
say though,
tipping point.
Democrats, I mean, in this last like Congress, Democrats have done Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats have done a pretty good job of whipping their
True,
caucus.
true.
But
But
we'll see.
it's gonna
We'll
be
have to
more
see how
difficult
McCarthy
if they
does
only have
it.
like a 1 seat majority. Like that's way harder to whip than like a
That
five
is
seat
yeah,
majority.
that is definitely way harder. But yeah, we'll see.
All right.
Yeah, is that
Yeah,
it?
that's the state of the. We're gonna make a video on our predictions. They didn't fare so well, but they didn't fare the worst as well. Like they were okay, I would say. We had the House right here, the state of the House. Keep your eye out on the House because this one's gonna go down to the wire. We have governors, where Democrats could potentially hold 25 governorships, although it's looking like 26 or 27 for the Republicans. We'll see. We've got the Senate where Democrats are very, very favored right now to hold the Senate. It's going to be very difficult for Republicans to take the Senate, but we'll see about that. And let's just run over the final betting markets, I guess, because those are interesting. 87% chance in the betting markets for Nevada to go blue here. 92 cents for Mark Kelly to take Arizona, 73 cents for Warnock to take Georgia, 90 to 11 right now for the control of the Senate. Governorships. AZ is going to be 70% chance for the Republicans. We have Nevada, where 70% chance, but falling for Lombardo to take that one. A few other interesting markets. We have the speaker, where McCarthy is falling by the minute. We have the 2024 presidential nomination, where DeSantis has been rising and Trump has been
DeSantis did
falling.
crazy this election.
Yeah. And yeah, maybe we just show that like super quick because like why not, right? Like
Yeah, why not?
Florida, if you're around, if you stuck around this whole video,
Florida's
you might
where the
wanna
red
see
wave
this.
actually happened.
The actual red wave,
the
DeSantis won by almost 20 points in Florida, Rubio not far behind in New York, where Lee Zeldin did extremely well. So those are the two red wave states. Everywhere else, almost a blue wave. I'd say blue ripple outside of those two states. So there we go. Senate,
that's it.
Governor's House. Yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure to leave a like on this video down below. Comment down below for the YouTube algorithm. Help us out because why not? And subscribe because you want to see how we did in our predictions, right? We're going to be calculating all that for you guys soon to come, maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after, but you'll see that very shortly. Hit that bell for notifications.
And yeah, and make sure to share with your friends, guys. I mean,
Yeah.
the election's over. I mean, let's see how we did. Let's see, get our predictions together, compare us to the other YouTube prediction peoples. Yeah, it'll be great. It'll be great.
All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.
See ya.